this thing interaction session, I just want to like share my screen, and I just wanted to want to introduce you to something. I know the audiences, there might be previous audiences also who will be watching us who already know about it, and I'm assuming that there might be new audiences also who will be really new to our interaction session and who will be very new to what I'm going to share right now. And yeah, let me just start. Let me just take 2 minutes of your time.
Sure, absolutely. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, only the host. I think I need. Joshua, can you please let me share my screen?
Yes, 1 minute. 1 minute. Never mind.
Yeah. Sure. No problem.
I'm so sorry. Just 1 minute. There is a technical problem. We are doing it. Just
No
1
problem.
minute.
No problem.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
Maibama, can you try now?
Yeah. I think I can. Yeah. Yes. I can share the screen now.
Okay, perfect.
So thank you so much. So basically, can you see my screen now?
We can see your screen, but it's your, I think, the home page of your phone. That's
Yeah. So I think now you can see what I have opened. It's advancingnortheast.in. We can either go to this website directly from Google, or we can there is already an app now. You can go and download from the Play Store. I think each and every youth, not only the students, everybody can have this app, like how we have our app, like Amazon, Flipkart, or Nika, or whatever. Like, so this is a kind of, very useful website, talking about this website, this particular website is called Advancing Northeast, which was launched only for the Northeastern youth. So the three main domain of this website is education, employment, and entrepreneurship. And one of the best thing about this website is that in each section we have various subsections where we have this career, entrance exam, study in Northeast, higher education India. Even we have this option of studying abroad also, and then we can even apply scholarships and fellowships through this website. And giving an example, very briefly, like let's say about the clinical psychologist, which many people now in this present generation, everybody knows about it. But when we were like young and all, we never had an idea about this particular profession or any profession whatsoever. Like, we only knew doctor, engineer, navy, or like just very basic things, right? But with the help of this app, we can even know what are the requirements in order to go to that particular profession, any particular profession, for example. So see, in this career menu we have so many courses available, like it's, I don't know, if we start searching for like going to each and every course, it will be like, it will be like, it will be like, it will never end, it will be infinity. So let's just see about this thing, the profession which is related to this thing. So it will come under like allied medical sciences, I think, or medical sciences, for example. So when we go to this allied medical sciences, we have, see clinical research, psychology, so many which we didn't even know. For me, it was like, very new thing for me. So when we say psychologist, we only knew that, oh, psychologist means there's only one. But, after, going to this thing before yesterday, like, when I was just going through this, I came to know that there is this thing called cognitive psychologist also, and then clinical psychologist also. That I'll be hearing from you, that what are the difference, because I am very, I don't know, I couldn't differentiate, so I'll be listening from you. So the best thing about this website is, see, when we say psychologist, and when we selected that, what are the roles that are available? There are 2 roles which you can see on my screen. And then where can I work? In which government sectors can I work, or in which corporate or private sectors, or whether we can even have a startup of our own also after doing cognitive psychologist, or after becoming a clinical psychologist. And then we can even be self-employed also. And this is a very good thing, because I never knew. I only knew about government jobs. So what are the positives and challenges for any profession? We have to be, aware of this, I think. And then what are the key skills required? And the best thing is, like, what should I study in order to, become a clinical psychologist or clinical cognitive psychologist? Like, there are 2 pathways given here. So all these things are like, and even when when we tried searching for any colleges or schools, it was always like, 1 or 2 colleges, very common colleges that comes in our mind. But here, even top colleges in India and abroad, where we can study this particular, this thing. So all the best thing about this is, in Google, when we try searching about any college or any university, it will be like, so many things will pop up. Like, it will never get us directed to that particular website. But here we have the like, best advantage of this website is that we will be directly directed to the particular website of that particular college only. So, I think, each and everybody should have this app. I'm just giving you example of just one basic thing, but, we have this entrepreneurship also. And then even, in the schemes and policies that are available, and so many success stories also, which you can, look up to. And then, even for a basic student, if we want to know, if we want to have a startup, and then if we want to know the basic things, we have this, whether our particular business will be agribusiness or manufacturing or services or trading, and like, it's not unending, it's unending actually. So, I hope, Irish, after you watch, after I introduced you to this website, I hope you will also, have this website along with you all the time. And then I hope this will have a very good impact on you also. And even you can share it with your friends, you can share it with your colleagues, or I hope you will get the maximum benefit out of it. So I think now I'll just end introduction of this particular website here, because if I start talking, I will not stop. And then, oh, sorry, I think some technical issue. So it's like, now you got a glimpse of what this website is about. And now I want you also to have the take advantage of it, because it is particularly for our northeastern region, only for the northeastern youth. So I want each and every one to take advantage of it. And then so starting with our session,
Thank you, Haorongbam. Before we start with the session, I would like to say thank you for showing me a detailed, view of the website, and also along with me, I think the audience will also learn a lot. And first of all, congratulations to you and your team for such a precise and succinct explanation of how you can explore certain other goals. Like as you mentioned, as while we were growing up, we were only acquainted with careers such as medical line or engineering line or police forces. We didn't know much about interior designing or
Yes.
architecture or fashion or all such kinds of careers that exist. And it's such a great initiatives that all the youth coming up from Manipur and especially the Northeast can have everything at just the tip of their hands by just going into one application where everything's available. So that's really great, and kudos to your
Yes.
team for that. And I will definitely share this with my cousins as well as other young people who I know. And thank you for sharing this with me. Yes.
Yeah, and yeah, really thank you. And I hope it gets spread to as many people as possible. And then
Yes.
starting, we have this advancing Northeast team have, particularly, has taken interest of the youth, and they have started this interaction session of calling different professionals, and then talking about how that particular profession has really impacted in their lives, or how they have chosen that particular profession, and how we are like expecting that in a certain way it will be even if at least 1% of people, if it gets impacted, then it will be a success for all of us. So I want you also to tell, like, it will be like we would really love to listen to your story, like, and then I hope certain section of people will have a good if they can have this thing, if they can have, if you can impact them with your story, and then if any of the student gets benefited from it, it will be of great, we will be really happy. So starting today's session, I really, from the bottom of my heart, I really want to thank you, because you have taken out time from a busy schedule to have a session with us. And then see, like, that's the only thing. And then I want you to introduce yourself first, because I know you personally, because we were classmates and we were schoolmates. I know you personally, but I want the world, I know whoever will be watching this, I want them to know about you. So can you please introduce about yourself? Yeah, it can we have started with English only, like, Manipuri da just adum hai se bahai intersections in Manipur gidang oi banina Manipuri da su dum keno tause adum
Yeah,
comfortable oi badu Manipuri
yeah.
English both.
Yeah, sure. So yes, thank you for having me. First of all, it's a pleasure for me to be here also, because as you mentioned, if I can impact at least one person, even though they don't choose this career as their own career, it's also an opportunity for me to talk about mental health, which is very close to my heart, and also which is something that's very needed in the world right now. So I'm very happy to be here and to be speaking about it. Coming to me, I giming Haorongbam Iris Chanu ko, and as you have known, you are my classmate. I did my schooling in Nirmalabas High School till my 10th, and 11th, 12th Herbert School, Changangai. So till 12th, I took up science. But when it came to graduation, at that turning point, like, right now, how we're discussing how we have to choose a career, at that point, I was also at crossroads. Like, I knew I was good in science and social science, both in my schooling years, like average, above average students. But in my heart, I knew I wanted to learn arts more. And that's when I was looking for subjects and options to choose for. And psychology and history were the top ones in my list of what I would prefer to take for my graduation. And I talked to one of my brother's friends who told me how, whatever is studied in psychology and how it's an emerging subject and how it's very needed in this world right now, right? So that's when I decided that I will take up psychology, and I did my graduation in psychology from IP College for Women, Delhi University. Adugi matungdadi I psychology laura kanadi tamma matamdadi yam interesting oirebako aduga as you all see also, nangna kano I described to the psychology this career ma'am legi ko. Ado a third year or da I could understand that I am more inclined towards the clinical side of it. Ko adugi aina third year or da I oja singa tanaraga clinical se makha kadai da tamdharaga phani and tanaba da Ambedkar University the tamaga phani. Like they have a good course and this is also one of the institutes which have a good course. Jamia is again another one. Aduduna, like among these three, I applied or I got chosen in Ambedkar University. I did the Masters in Psychosocial Clinical Studies se tame, and it changed my life. When I say it changed my life, the course curriculum in Ambedkar was really different because again, the grading system do mark based do overall holistic understanding do focus oreba. So when we studied psychology, it didn't focus on psychology as just one subject. Psychology, I say, it is studying about the human behavior and mental processes, and we live in a society. So there are so many forces that come into play. Like the historical forces, cultural, socio-economical, then political, intergenerational. See, me, I'm saying, and the best thing was there was no pressure about mark. Exam, formal exam related. We had very small assessments, and it was more of trying to see whether we could understand what was being taught. Aduga answered if I don't agree with something my teacher has also said, aina argue to be I answer pigo matam da hambra. Aina argue to raga aina yaning se kaigino have a reason bu budo period adumina ibe have. So that was a whole process, whole learning process, and my development also like I mean it was a complete development of my personality when I studied there as well. Aduga coming to clinical oina direct focus sakibse ai master taming is the internship amadar ka tagi ko adu matamda obviously I also wanted to utilize my summer vacation at home also aduna delhi the intern tawgi muhutta I say rims the intern tawba rims ki department of clinical psychology da. So when I came home and I started interning at home, I could see the ground reality have the patient ko Manipur gi oina karamba makhal gi patient lai kari class ki lai and then what kind of mental disorders are there in Manipur ko adu matam de lakpado khara yambudi yamde ko it was only a handful of people because it was still developing yamnas khangna bo oidrimena. But when I was interning there, I realized that I want to, come back to Manipur and see the ground reality and work with people in Manipur ko adiki. So after my master's, I applied for MPhil in clinical psychology in RIMS, and fortunately, I got selected and I did my MPhil there, and now I am a licensed clinical psychologist.
Like, I still remember you. You have been a very studious student, and akogi school matamda ko like every one of us like haigera hairogera phazana mark phangera phangoira. We all wanted to become doctors. We all wanted to become, engineers. Aduga,
yes.
I'm not degrading any profession, but akogi aim and it's always good to have higher aims. But suddenly I also remember you, like I think you also wanted to become a doctor. I think we have that thing, So, kamaina adu matamdane like nangna hoi 11 12 ki matungda nangna like you wanted to go to clinical psychologist tongninge haibagi nangna da tawkhidana ko IP college ta tamba matamda do suddenly nang kari wakaldagi adu tongningi nang kari ugibra like akwai Manipur, for example, Sir Lenin, psychologist, khangi, akwai doctor ne mase, but clinical psychologist type as a term it was a very new term. Akwai na Haorongbam matam dadi ko. Ado kamay na khanga kiye kanana like nang na kaday nang urubra or certain kainoma point ama dila amgani dana ko nangi life ta. Adugi matang dai fetang hype
So yeah, I school matamda digi growing up years, we all keep changing our aims, right? Whatever.
Yes.
Like aina ningsang ba ko I gi aims say I'm changed forever, but the most prominent ones were like either a doctor, especially because again my mom was in a medical field ko. Aduga ako gi generation they introduced so obviously doctors, engineers, police aina high digi hena layer tamina. Shikalaya digi you see you know, advertisements like, you know, about air hostesses, right? There was a phase where I wanted to be an air hostess. Adu matam ama lairame. Then I grew up, class 10 lore, 11, 12 matam yorakanda di ishagi decision nama same gadamne haifse darkar tare. Even like after 10, I say science log with the arts log sira hai khalam me ko. Because I was always more inclined towards arts ko. Adubu Hare 11, 12 today science se tam thoge. It's not like I'm bad in science also. Haina khallaga ko. Adum 12 faugi basic knowledge le hauragati. It will be useful to me also. And I na khallaki bako adigi 11, 12 today science lore. But lore. But after 12, I know that I arts checkani is adum khangre bako. Aduna result hek lak I say Delhi University ki any college ta admission phang na ba na chatleba I said ko ado matam sida history or psychology aina haibadu ko social science sa higher so I say history natraga psychology se lauge aina adum khalakiba but psychology se yam khangaga khan lauge kaina khangibdi na teba it sounded interesting to me I want the guide to bina ba psychology matang da adikiti haibina ba or Manipur gi even like again the job of a psychiatrist and a clinical psychologist is very different, right? Psychiatrist medical line digi lagto ni dina ay na di adu do job ne 11 12 Dr. Lenin like he's very famous and like you know there are other psychiatrists also but that adugi wakal adum digi influence tawraga changi bidina tiba so I only took up psychology because I tadagi mamana basina ko psychology is like human behavior gumba study tawdoine yam interesting oini again it's an amalgamation of science and social science marakta lai bane ba ko so khara college khara didi MA psychology ka hai be yaw bane de college khara dana MSc psychology hai be yaw bane ba ko marak ne ba psychology se aduna mana hai bi bu ko human behavior se scientific way minus study tawdone khotone ka hai I want them interesting oi give do hangbra it's also about studying about people their stories ko adu gi aingone interesting oi give the aina psychology se laura ba matung da di mayam tame edana ko obviously psychology nang 3 years tamak to ne adu the career options I say adu hek han ba introduction to psychology the yaure ba ko it's very new in India but then there are news about what kinds of careers that you can opt for adu matam da like counseling psychologist organizational psychologist adu mayam do leire ko adu gi matung se aina khalak da I say clinical lom da hena inclined to way has isana tammo ba matung da khangzare eba adu kiti college ki professor sing da oina tana but adu matam da so what I want to bring forth is in Manipur there were very less inspirations for me in terms of psychology or not even inspiration like there can be so many inspiration inspired only I need like it can be from other fields also psychology katang digi oi da basu ka shukai de ko adu career guidance guide to bina ba kadai da chatlaga phani kai school da kai college da tamaga phani karamba career option le kani kaina adumaina guide to bina of the yam legi de dana ko aduduna I only got that opportunity when I went out of Manipur and studied outside like in Delhi in a big city like that aduga Hojikti with this platform at the tip of your hand like with the blessing of internet you have every information with you college na pani kadai da apply ta gani chahi kya changani loina ma tapi na ba mi ama darkar ta adraga su sigi platforms na provide tawraga leirabani na I urge every young student every young adult to utilize this advantage that they have right now aduga career option to choose tawna ba aina haining
yeah chume yamna like akoina keno torpa matam da di sigi dilemma je later brana je khale kai da akoi gi mamang da di matam da internet su lagi da mina just profession amma ahu mari du da dang da circle to lay do akoi gi mind je ko huzikti hoi advantage to lay disadvantage to lay kai the career options je mayam am lay rabani na ko ado sum basic angang amana class 10 lo raba angang amna suppose clinical psychologist oininge hai taraga dini ko just basic oina yam basic oiba kaino ne sidi haidi Iris ki opinion da kari haina magi 11 12 se karamba subject lauraga ne hena like advantages oige habido ko aduga graduation da then masters da like chat ka da balambi do hai fetang sum already Irish na tawra abani na khangabane already adugi profession particular profession da hen clear oirabanina haidi akoigi satra sing hore iba satra sing dane moina 11 12 ta or like Irish na kitang pelhauda ba haigadra natraga kitang hena aphaba mong da moise like yamna directly profession do that changhaning like changning ba leiba taragadi moina kari kari mistake tawroidage or kari kari subject logani bu or so subject particular subject oigera adugi matangna kitang guidance amoina aingonda pibadona I kemta class 10 loiraba satra ne khala aingonda ina guidance to haidi class 11 12 tana si tawadamne then abdul loiraga graduation da si tawadamne or entrance exam si gi thagadamne adugi matang haikatang hai biuni.
Absolutely. So, akoy Manipur dati psychology se 11 12 se I don't know if they still have 11 12 the yaw da perhaps I wasn't clear ko. But CBSE courses have 11 12 psychology books. So, arts the psychology yaw ko. Aduduna CBSE da try to ge have you but it's okay. It's completely all right if you have never heard of psychology because college level the tam there's an introduction to psychology if you have made up your mind that you want to study psychology you can start from college as well college tamani psychology tamaba matungda MA su again you can choose like all the kinds of careers in psychology as I said counseling psychology loge ai adiki organizational behavior loge ai clinical psychology loge ai adiki sports psychology kind of like akoy manipur da so sports university hangedana mo sports psychologist so like adumaina career options se mayam leba so nangna college tamaw matungda nangi inclination do masana khangakani duna ko adugi matungda master da mo apply tawba yare but if I talk about clinical specifically ko adu argadi BA or BSc psychology hiring ko even in masters it can be masters in psychology or like masters in applied psychology also different colleges have different names ko adu kemta kai deba what is crucial is nangna clinical da chatke and if you want to practice in India legally then you have to get yourself admitted for MPhil in an RCI recognized institute. RCI has a doctor gi medical license medical council of India na pido adumaina akogi clinical psychologist rehabilitation counseling of India council of India secure organizations na piba aduna MPhil labor institute lay but RCI recognized ko doesn't mean that the course is bad ko nangna kashu kaide I license yaudragasu I can be a counseling psychologist haina khallagadi kashu kaide but if you want to be a licensed clinical psychologist adu aragati RCI na recognized over institute amada tamgada aduga with after you're done with your MPhil for 2 years then you will get your license aduga clinical psychologist or and I also want to say something with career no akoina pamang pase hek 12 loy baga khangadabni haibas leite ko like a lot of my friends like in my masters I had people like who had done PhD in law also like coming to study MA psychology ko aduduna there's no age where you want to start learning or where you want to decide that I want to change my career that's completely okay ko adu put age limit pudi khara institute kyo aina khara institute dependent oina leibe ai but marakta aina kaiguba the BA the psychology laudragasu if I have taken sociology or some other art subject there are universities which accept course applications from students who have taken other courses also like Ambedkar it accepted ko Manipur University this is psychology hange ko am harawe masters hange this so hauji phawdi moi atopo course tisu accept tawe ko adumaina nangna bachelor's ki matung dasu decide tawzaba yae khangba I change tawni hairage so yes I want to tell this one
adune yamna like aphaba option namane like akoina khangamba taragadi it's always interesting nanga hairapa matungda it's very interesting to learn about human behavior id akoisu commerce student ina human behavior ki matangda khajitang khaktame but it was always an interesting subject ado clinical psychologist amane lower roles kari role lobo yage to adugi matangda career options nangna panbudi pangre ko haife but government sector da changagana kari role loba or like nangi huzik Irish na huzik low lairiba organization do adugi matangda jo haife tang panbiyone kay da akoy na hojik it's been a like tradition amagi type da akoy only government sector da ba yade haibagi compulsion amasu laibagi mong da su laidana ko but it is always okay to even go to private organizations or like we can have our own startup ado adugi role dugi matang do sune kitang haibiyone like akoy na government sector da na like changaga na what are the roles that you can play and additional hojik laiba organization dugi role do so haifetang panbiyone.
Yeah. So government sector da changagati nang sa clinical psychologist ama oina changbe yare ko, or you can also be a clinical assistant professor for the Department of Clinical Psychology, right? MPhil courses like institute da oza oibe yare ko. Like after MPhil, right now according to the policy, education policy, net kumba PhD kumba darkar ta debe ko. MPhil gi oza oige hare gati. If you have done MPhil, nangi MPhil loire gadi you're qualified ko aduduna apply tawba yae ko aduga again clinical psychologist or in a practice tawrasi yare government hospital kumba da ko. Or self-employed tawbusi ay hadi nang license there nina you can practice anywhere in India, right? So nang na clinic hangjage haraga su clinic hangjaba yare ko. Or you can also work alongside a psychiatrist ko. Psychiatrist masagi clinic hangjaba leidana ko adugi consultant or in a clinical psychologist or in a work tawba le yaidana ko. And then also like there are so many online options where you can be a counselor or a clinical psychologist online. So after COVID it has become more popular as well. Adumaina adugi option mayam leire your dose kaina adigidi adum tis kumbagi kaino so moigi kahani moigi makada organization adigi NGOs kumba mayam leire ko. And then again with other NGOs ka collaborate oraga nang clinical psychologist amo oina adum consultant oina work ta busiyare ka. And if I speak particularly about me, I'm working as a senior clinical psychologist in a wellness corporate company called Antarman Consulting Private Limited ko. So the ID work criteria is have the company se it's a wellness and resiliency company ko ato corporate ne ko. And there are so many corporate companies in India, right? So they provide wellness and resiliency solutions to other corporate companies. Like me ato pagi corporate company ki moi gi employee se like again after COVID ko moi se resilience ang tarkata idana ko. And also like people have become more conscious about the kind of leadership styles that they want to use ko. They want to ensure that their employees are mentally, physically, and emotionally well ko. Atugi mentally and emotionally well do cater ta una ba moina akoy is the higher to ni ba akoy companies ko. Adugo we give an wellness and resiliency solutions to this company. So moigi higher to ba company to ko. So for example, one BPO company hires my company Antarman Consulting Private Limited as a vendor. Then Antarman ki clinician mein humse sina shigi BPO company ki whatever employees 1,000 2,000 employee to moigi wellness cater to ba. So you provide group sessions, individual sessions,
Nice.
like any other awareness programs, seminars, webinars
Wow,
so employee amamam ka check-in tawbasu adumaina pidane. So we get to discuss like 15 minutes for one employee. Like moigi maramda dum hangbado weekly ka ko kamaina tawri ke professional personal life work life balance maintain tawbang ngambra kaina adumaina. So that if they're well, their productivity is also maintained and their resilience is also maintained. Like company mein say when COVID hit, they had to shift online, right? Adu the lifestyle change lagto ni dana. Adu the lifestyle change adjustment ta ubagumada akoina mating pangtipa adumaina to.
That is a really nice step, a very good step. Pandemic ki matungda we all are really have become more stressed in our lives. Like kari di khangde, but everyone common like kaino oireba sisi. So akoina school tama matamda jo like even in our society huzik taboo amo oidana ko like counseling to bahaise like if we go to any psychiatrist amada chatpa haisisu like it's not always about being insane or like nangaure haibado adugi taboo ama tawnai ko. So akoina counselor ama darkar oiba, everyone needs a counselor. Ado I think, through this platform, I really want to, even encourage even schools also, any kind of institute whatsoever. Loinamak, I think, they should encourage nang anoigi organization adugumba ama lakpa haise. It's a really good step. Akoigi society ki haidi mental health se, like, it's something which we should never ignore. Simadi, like, after COVID, we all have realized, and before COVID also, like, somewhere, akoi adum stress away. Some realized of Adam stress or like we have these anxieties and all. But I think, it's very common. Like adu tawre na hekta akoy ngaure haibanatteba. Like, it's very common to be stressed, to have anxiety. Sigi platform, Sigi true, I really want to encourage all the, youth or students, like whoever is listening to this particular session to, always, if you have trouble, I always wanted to, from, I don't know, somewhere I wanted to, share this also, but I think today is the right time. Even I had faced mental issues, like, mental issues in the sense like, like, like mentally cope up to exam stress, and then relationship stress, then family issues. We all face that. Adugi point of time that I never thought I can consult a counselor. Aduna maram oiraga, it had really impacted very badly on so many things in my life. Adugi though, like, thank God that I realized, even though it was for a short period, I realized later, I should have gone to a counselor. Adu itaragadi, ay kananonga wari sado aga, like counseling tauram taragadi, ay do kitang morshu, like, impact tauram na khalleba. Ado, huzikangi lifestyles isu change tauropai matungina, ay loina chathaningi counselor ama kano tawbase ado, noigi organization adugumba organization ama linkhalakpa habise yam thina harauni ne thagatningai ne aduna I hope in the future you not only target only the corporate sector, students who institute, like, all the youth. I adum target tawrakani na khale, and then you will
thank
have
you
a
for
very good
bringing this up.
this thing.
Sorry to cut you off.
No problem.
Thank
no
you for
problem.
bringing this up. So, akwegi companies, so what we have actually recently started this campaign called Young Mental Health Advocates as well. So we are actually, trying to expand our, akwai cater to work say jaga se ko expand to so young mental health advocates haina, because statistics ki matungina most of the mental illnesses or stress and anxiety that happens adolescents ki jaga se yamna tawal. As you mentioned,
exactly.
Career, relationship problems. Sometimes your parents don't understand what you're saying. We're giving them a space ko aduduna moida si young mental health advocates akoigi programs. We're giving them a space to learn about it, and also to advocate whatever they have learned to their friends as well. Ko aduduna we expect it to be a huge success. Howjipudi Haorongbam stage ta leidangai ko, but it will take time. And I hope it becomes a huge success. And as you mentioned, school gi counselors laiba mayam darkar tayo khale in every school. As anabi marata classmates ga oiro narat khra kahani mingon daga chak chak thengan ba de khra leggan ba restless ba mi yam thengnara tra do ari da to koina adu to angang ori ngai de kashu identify tawde ko ma se chaga chaga law gumba adugumba labels so oina tawbiraga moigi to understand how we do. So there is this thing called ADHD ko angang de amna prevalent oiba ko attention deficit hyperactivity disorder haibne ko. So moi say inattention ko balay gan ba natraga hyperactivity ko balay gan bo idene ba say angang de am yaw oiba. Adu school daga moi say adom ozana ga pagfu da fubi ba do hangra khang da. Obviously it always goes undiagnosed also most of them ko ay angang ni chawra pharakani kana khanbi khangra. Aduduna shigumba matamsda if a counselor is there, behavioral patterns recognize the karamba mongda kari behavioral situations sizinaraga magi learnings hen inclusive or hen yake kind of yeng boduko. And then now like globally the world is talking about inclusive education, right? So like the world is propagating to include differently abled students, or sometimes students with learning difficulties ko normal class amaga inclusive oinaba adugumbada same class da tamnaba advocacy tawreba, so that they can also try to be around their peers and also learn whatever their peers are learning in their own ways ko aduduna classroom specific oiba kanda. Okay, if I identify this person as this student as someone with learning disability ko mabuto nga na label ta oraga thambiyo haiba na tabo ko, how can I include him in the class as a whole, or her as in the class as a whole, to participate with the other classmates ko adumain adugumbudo kanana pirakadun mo haibta. You will have counselors, school counselors, who will guide you. Oza loimak na adukang ba, like they won't be able to identify that, right? Because obviously they have like 30, 40 students in a class, right? Ado duna counselor di and as again, if someone is going through something a difficulties in life regarding their emotional regulation, stress, anxiety, growing up here said ni nang sulay ay sulay ni na it's a lot of things happening during these years. And you need someone to hear like whatever you're saying and understand ko. No wonder advice ko. Like you need understanding, you need empathy from someone else, and you're trying to seek that safe space where you can share whatever you're going through ko. Adu space to that is provided by a counselor again. Adu ne mayam darkar darisi. So yes.
So I hope in the near future, Irish na labor organization, I hope it reaches to each and every college, schools, or like whatever institute is there. Like I know it's a there will be a drastic change in our society. Taboo, like including them in our among us, among normal, like they should be we should never make them feel that they are like abnormal. Like they are also normal people like us. Like asoiba that's a very emotional thing, or that's a very good thing.
However, when we talk about normalcy and abnormalcy, also it's very subjective, right? Ako na di ay na normal ne haribo po to ni dugi in his or her reality. That is not normal in his or her reality ko. Adudugi difference so lain ba. So instead of looking it as a taboo ko, madi ngaur bani, madi mokobera lay bani kind of labels pi bagi mahuta ko. Let's try to be empathetic and let's try to understand what the person is actually going through ko. Aduga ako na ningon the empathy so tawar ba matam di taboo siya masana adung tap na pagidoy na traba. Ay na so na asmadi angaw ni have to yapsaladi taboo do dumlay doy na tro. So we need to start from our homes ko ako na wari shanap matapay amna kaya ni conscious oy na ko judgmental oy ba mo wari shanap ba, and make it very open and make it very normal to consult a counselor, to consult a psychiatrist. World Health Organization na me healthy person have say mentally healthy so so why should we treat it different as a physical illness ko nang kidney nare and kalona traga nang heart nare kalona doctor lying bachat kaniba. But if you're going through something difficult in your life and you have stress and anxiety, why is there a taboo of consulting a psychiatrist or a counselor or a clinical psychologist, right? Aduduna taboo say we can only remove it once we start from our home. So the little bit we can do is start having open conversations about this with our family members ko. Anduga mo ida sa tum educate biba ko. Haidi educate biba in the sense this is a very new concept again, and taboo na dum laabani na kang da aigi family members marakta bu kang da bayaw su nang akang basing da haidi ba ko atuga judgmental oy da attitude say develop the woman darkar. And also I want to clarify one thing. Counselor amagi manata chat pa say it doesn't have to be only when you are in a crisis or when you have trouble that you have to go to a counselor. Nang na problem la ingay da manage ta bang me khalaga su you can always go to a counselor to develop skills, to learn how to
Yeah,
manage your stress and anxiety.
yeah,
Asising put out the main.
yeah. Yam chumba wapun ne. Iris na hari do haidi. Ako'y na mapanamda, like, we have seen many Hollywood movies. We have always seen them going to counselors, I think that is something we should like, we should learn from them. Like, ikai dabado. Ako'y na, like, Iris na haibado may na stress layer kanda dang na chattoy sinatra. So that's a really good this thing. I sige matang sa higit ang kinomtang ningzangak ko. Ako'y na nilabasa tamingay matamda, like when we were, I don't know which class we were in, 7th or 8th. Do you remember Father George came to our school, like, counselor amo inalaaga.
Yes.
We were so, I remember going to him, but
Yes.
before going to him, I like, there were 100 questions in my mind whether I should go, what will my friends think, kay counselor chatlise ma adugi thought mayam duna aise kino toroga last moment. I think I was the last student who went to father for counseling, but now I realized, adugi step to kitang schools in kitang serious oina laukalaga. If they have a proper counselor in the school, students can go anytime, like, during the school hours or like after school hours, personal, like, huzikti phone na chatting with so any time da ako na worry shananing ba kananong ba, like, we are not always, everybody is not always comfortable to talk to friends also sometimes. Share to bungam da wa mayam na ko. Then parents kazo, obviously we have this certain some khara amadi am close or bad, but most of us have that distance. So adugumba malera pahaise, I think that will be a very good step, and I wish your corporate all the best, your organization to I hope they expand, and in future ka satra gi darkar oitaragasu, like, I really want my students, like, whoever I know to have a session with your organization, if you need in the future. Adum contact Isu taurage. Iris na sudum any, like, kainoma chaw na tawba taragadi advancing northeast ka collaborate tawnaraga tawba yabagi options yu layeba. Ana just interaction session kitang na tiba advancing northeast na music tawrisi. They are like, up to anything. If that is useful for the youth, they are ready to take up anything. So in future, if you really need, collaboration with some, you want to do something in a larger picture, you are always welcome, and you can always contact our, advancing Northeast team for any, help or any collaboration in the future. Like at my palm target, I think that will be a good opportunity for us also, and aroy boy na, I'm, like little, I don't know, already guidance tipi ko, but asum Iris na hining ba kay mental issues ki matang high but something conclusion oina sum hining ba lay taragadi kitang samlap na.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Also, first of all, I want the opportunity people to not just to me, to my organization as well. Ko advancing not is ka collaborate the opportunity people. I really appreciate that. And if something comes up, I would really come to you, and it would be a good thing for me, for you, for your organization, as well as for the youth as a whole. And what we work for is to impact the youth and help them in whatever way that we can, right, with this platform that we have access to, right. I really appreciate that. Aduga mental health ki matang da oina kitang loisalamdai sa hai ko I I have aina thengna mi me amda adum I say mental health advocate tong badum hone, obviously because I work as a clinical psychologist. But yes, through this platform I would also want to tell everyone who is watching that please do not ignore or shy away from reaching out for help. I know it takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable to someone, to share whatever you're going through, to open up to someone who is a stranger to you. But it's important to not ignore what your health requires in terms of holistic development ko aduduna mental health se taboo digi kahani accepted oinaba normalized oinaba ko akoina let's have more discussions about it like how we're having today. Let's talk more about it and let's have conscious discussions about it wari siya na kay hani pangsanda sanaba kano artha yaudabida ko aduga judgmental oina sanaba madi sumaina sige doctor sida lying bachat pani like everyone like people also use very listlessly also miyam na kano mas hoina tawbada nang doctor na chatradi aron do not do that. Please do not do that. Do not, trivialize situations, mental health problems like this. Me mental health problem ama survive tawraga layriba midati moidati yamna wana ko yam kahani with every cell of their body they're trying to hold on to whatever they have and trying to come out of that problem ko come out have the loina makita mangini have the nate but they're trying to be as good as they can be ko do not trivialize mental health problems. Let's talk responsibly. Let's be conscious when we have discussions about it and let's be more open to it. And mental health should be made accessible to all. So yes, that's what I would say.
Iris na haikiba wahayama aina su adum khanjakiba ko ado yamna akoi je kitang aphaba haibada like kaino tawbi daba laidana ko accept tawbi dab but I always think Iris na su pandikre everything starts whatever change any change ama purake hai tadi it always starts from an individual akoi isadagi hogadabane bahana so I hope Iris na haibada maina I so I hope I can somewhat percent amatang oitar so I hope I can bring that change aduna I also want my audience to practice moisu adum huzik haibiriba haikiba mayamdo moisu masadagi practice taw hauni na ai thajai sigi platform se sigi interaction se tabi tariba kangudo ado everything starts from an individual akoi isa isa gi yumdagi hogudabani haibado adu yam tina amba waphamne adudagi hauraga akoi gi society da jo changes mayam ama lakani na ai thajai kai da we hot topic ama oirabane ba huzik mental health ko like we can never ignore that ignore shu to ba de akoi akoina consciously or unconsciously face tawrabane ba sidi somewhere macha oigera chawbo oigera but Iris na haibi ba maina just stressful oirakanda su consult tawgadabani stressful oirakanda dang tawgani haibasu nate ba like we can always consult we have we can always talk akoina hainingi ba share tawningi ba we can always develop our skills through a counselor so si hairaga ngasigi session ze thank you so much Iris like sigumba kanara ba wahi akoina already tarabo oitaraga so coming out from you practice already like you are a senior psychologist now so coming out from you is a very big thing I hope mayamna sutaraga follow tawgani na ai thaje tasengna and akoigi society de changes athuba matamda adum sigi taboo amu oidibasi su change tawrani na ai sigi asha ga loina na ngasigi session ze akoi loirasi mathang da su mayam ama we will be like talking so much like in the future also we will be talking with you aduga thank you so much nangi Irish ki valuable time yamna chill kai thokpirak pai da mata I know you have many meetings lined up also and I hope you achieve more in the coming years and your organization also expands as I already said schools institutes youth the impact I hope it grows in the near future and I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much Iris. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.